Hello, 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 hello. This is Veronica Paddock, and this is spiritual health and awareness, or spiritual awareness and health, whatever I'm calling my station nowadays. um, I come to you today to kind of discuss judgment a little bit. First, let me tell you about myself. I am an entrepreneur, happiness advocate, and soulful healer. So that's just a little bit about me. So I've been kind of feeling something that I've been having, and the huge word is judgment. Yeah. Not the judgment that I think most people would think, but there's two huge ones. There's one ourselves, and then there's the ones that, the judgment that we receive from other people. And we pick up on that judgment because I'd say about 98% of us, we receive our thoughts, feelings, and all that other stuff, things that stress us out from other people, which means we're sort of empathic, correct? And I've been having conversation where I'm working with people and they're feeling this tingling in their body, or they're sensing they're becoming depressed, having different emotions. And those emotions aren't theirs, but they just own them, right? They're feeling heavy in their chest. They got a headache. Their throats get a little scratchy, what have you. Um, so I want to kind of start with the first one is us judging ourselves. I woke up this morning and I judged myself. I was still in bed. Okay. I was like, oh my God, okay, what time am I getting up? Oh, I should have been up by now. And then you look in the mirror and it's like, oh God, what do I look like? Now, my story is I was in a car accident about 5 years or so ago. And I was a little heavier than I would have liked to have been, but I thought I looked good. I still felt sexy and attractive and all that. I got into an accident, went up, put on weight, was on all kinds of medicines, had trouble walking, various types of things happened. Changed jobs, wasn't as active in going to, wasn't active. My whole life shifted from being able, moving, walking, all this other stuff. Switched jobs, locations, then tried to do my own business. So you're sitting at you're at your work job, then you come home and do your side job, and the weight started piling on and on. Change of life also is happening. My hourglass figure is turning more into like that apple shape. Not cool, not cool. So all that kind of has happened at the same time. And then we had COVID hit, which you weren't able to really get out and about and do different things. You're at home a lot. You're not exercising, socializing, what have you. I used to be wearing makeup every day, and I didn't worry about doing videos. I was like, okay, I go to work, paint my face, put on my warrior makeup, do what I had to do in brokerage, and then I'd come home, put in a video. I already had my makeup on. I look great, right? And anytime I want to make a video or do a chat or something, I'm the first one to judge myself about what I look like. What does my hair look like? Do I have gray roots? How do I look without makeup? Oh my God! Like, do I have circles? Is the lighting good? Like, I look like shit, and that's what prevents me from stepping outside. I put limitations upon myself. And that's what most of us do. We automatically start going to judgment about us because of what other people will think. Well, what if we were just receiving projections of other people's judgments and how they feel, right? So when you wake up in the morning and you're already depressed, you're feeling and agitated, or like a 5-year-old child, you don't want to get up, go to work. Well, what if all that wasn't yours? So like I have a neighbor upstairs, and I know he serious has problems with weight. And I think it's a control mechanism, not, and it just helps him to keep control in his life, right? In order, because he needs to have control and balance on something. So that's what he gets all crazy about. Instead of loving and nurturing his body and putting his hands on his body, saying, body, I love you. I accept you. Okay. Body, what do you want to look like today? Body, what do you want to feel like today? Body, what do you want to wear today? I doubt that's what he's doing. I know he's on isogenics right now, which I keep seeing the things, and there's constantly the blender, and he runs around. But what I'm noticing is I'm receiving his energy. He's not happy with himself. He has to do that displacement. Look over here to see what's going on over there. So I know that's what's going on with him, and I observe it. So I have to use some of my Access Conscious tools first thing in the morning, because I've already absorbed all this negativity, and I don't wake up pissy. When I wake up in the morning, I'm a little slow. I'm not a morning person. I need my cup of joe, and then I'm good to go. But I'm not depressed in the morning. I don't get anxious first thing in the morning. I just need a cup of coffee. But when I wake up and there's pressure on my chest, or I'm stressed out, and like I said, I don't wake up depressed. I know it's not mine. So then I start using my Access Conscious tools, and start asking myself questions like, well, who does this belong to? Is this mine? Is this mine? Return to sender with consciousness. Go, you have. And I do my clearings and get myself back to whatever. But, the other thing is you also have to remember to be kind to yourself, right? You have to take like 15 minutes to make you happy. And one thing I know I get involved is that to-do list. Do. So that's something I know that happens for me. Ooh, there's a lot of energy on that. Everything that brought up, were you destroyed, uncreated, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's the Access Conscious Clearing Statement. You can go to Access Consciousness Clearing Statement and look that up and get all the details from Dr. Dane here, who is co-founder of Access Consciousness. I've been using the tools a lot lately because they do help with all the other modalities that I do work with in tandem, whether it be crystal healing, sound healing, what have you. But back to judgment. So having all those judgments and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm waking up with judgment about me this morning. I mean, I need to get my hair done. That's a choice if I get my hair done. That's my choice. But look, I'm willing to show you. I got my grays. I prefer to look a little bit more cute. Took a shower, didn't put on my makeup, because that I find is a hindrance. And it's a choice. You know what? Judge me all you want. Today, I don't give a rat's ass, and I'm going to let any judgment from anybody else or even myself just kind of pass through me. You don't have to be that stop sign of judgment. You could just let it flow through, or return it to whoever's having their problem. You're picking up on their energy, their issue with themselves. They're judging themselves. Well, let them have it. Let them keep it, The other part of judgment is when other people judge you. Now, this kind of brought up stuff from when I was a little kid, where things that you hear that you told that you start taking on, just because, almost like bullying, I guess, a little bit in a way. I thought about words that came up that people used to say to me when I was little. I remember going over by my grandparents' house for a holiday, and all the ladies would sit at the table. The men would be washing the dishes or doing what have you. And I remember I go to see my mom, and there was this one lady. She just had an issue with weight. And I would come over and she would criticize me. I was a kid. Come on. you know, we get over it. I never would have thought in a million years until like within the past couple of years that that was her issue. She had an issue with me because it was her issue. I didn't have an issue with it until she started poking at my belly, baby fat or whatever, poking at me and saying things at me and to me that just degraded me. I carry that with me for years and years and years. I also remember when I was in grammar school, I got a boy across, him and his friends were thinking they were cool when I was in, grammar school. And they actually said, "Hey, Veronica Padlock, you big side of beef. Do you think I enjoyed that?" And I'm like, what did I ever do to you? So that's them projecting on you to make you feel like crap, so they can feel better about themselves with whatever their issue is. Another one that my mom always brings up is when she was a kid. Now, I don't think my mother ever had a weight problem that I mean, I always thought she looked beautiful in pictures that I saw. And her one uncle used to call her Crisco fat in a can. What the hell is that shit? You know? Another one, there's other people that they'll say stuff about your hair, right? And then you look at their hair and you're like, well, did you look at you in the mirror today? A lot of judgment and energy on that one. Like, I just sit there, it's like, well, why are you picking on me and what my hair looks like? Like, seriously. And I'm learning to just, okay, that's your point of view. You think that you look great. And my point of view is that, okay, well, look in the mirror. And their point of view is that they have a problem with your hair. Let it flow through. Don't own it. Don't be the stop sign. Don't let it stick to you. Just kind of shake that off. Return to sender with consciousness. Let it flow through you. It's not yours. Let it go. What is one of my other ones? Oh, yeah. Here's another one. I used to get told I was moody when I was a kid. And I didn't realize it until I had gone through various healing sessions that I was moody because I was receiving energy, right? I was receiving other people's energy. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know I had any kind of special magic, I guess you could say, that I was sensitive to the awareness of other people or awareness of what's going on around me. Now I get my moodiness is because I'm just noticing that maybe there's a shift with the moon. Maybe there's something going on with the planet. Perhaps I'm picking up energy from a being without a body. Right? A being without a body. I could definitely be sensing that. Now I notice and I'm more aware of energies where I noticed it as a kid, but I didn't know I was aware and I was feeling and sensing those things. I didn't know any of the, like the 5 C's, like the clairs and the clairvoyant, clairaudient, clair this, clair that. I didn't know anything about that. I know I dabbled a little bit in crystals and stuff and found it myself. I may have had a couple of prophetic dreams. Never tell your counselors that because then they try to, they don't take it the way that is intended. They take it in a different way. So just please be careful who you say certain things to. That I know from personal experience. But so, yeah, there's a lot of awareness that's out there. But yeah, that the moodiness and when I joined corporate, I kind of stepped all over that. I disengaged myself from any sensories. You had to be a certain way. You had to be corporate. You had to be, you couldn't be logical. You couldn't feel. I used to get in trouble for feeling like all the time or engaging with people in a way and making them feel comfortable. It's like, no, you have to follow this black and white plan. I am so in the gray. I live in the gray. I do so much better when I'm playing and being silly and not being, I used to get called a non-manager manager. And people worked and did things with and for me because I was a non-manager manager. Judgment, yeah, on that part. So there's all different ways of looking at judgment in this world. Sorry, I got to take a sip of water. So there's, like I said, there's us judging ourselves for what we look like, or B, because we're used to, we learned judgment and we kept it within ourselves instead of saying, well, that's your point of view. And that's your awareness. Okay, well, that's just your pure point of view. I don't have to own it. I don't have to receive it. I can just be, okay, well, thank you. That's your point of view, and go on with my day. And if, like today, I have a smiley shirt on. I spent time trying to figure out which way to do the cameras and everything. And I kept saying, really, what do you care? What do you care? I'm like, well, it's my first video. I kind of live streamed, so I really wanted to make sure I had the right light, because I don't want to have to redo this all over again. So it was more of an ease, joy, and glory kind of thing for me. But did I care what I look like? You know what? No. I would rather you see me without makeup today. And notice my flaws, my whatever you see in me is, my guess is you're going to see my energy and how happy I am. And then I'm sharing with you, instead of what the hell I look like, or what I'm wearing, or what my background looks, and what the picture is over here. What does this really say? You know. That said, I had two people that I spoke to this week. One was a friend, and one was a client that I worked with just last night. And my friend that I had talked to was last Friday. We were just trying to catch up, and she carries a lot of moon energy. And she's with moon energy, it's like very emotional. I wouldn't say emotional. It's a water energy. Yeah. So it's flowy. It's soft. It's not matte. It's very feminine energy, just flowy. And she's working with a group of people, and everybody has different energies, and she keeps picking up on everybody's energy. And she's having a problem with boundaries. And I had given her some tools to try to help herself in that space, where all of a sudden, like, she's feeling heavy in her chest. You know, it's like, oh my God, you poor girl. Like, you know, you're letting everybody stop all over you, basically. Just, you know, and one of the things I had said to her was, you know, you could either, you can build like a shield around yourself when you're dealing with these people and their negativeness, right? You can just kind of feel your body as a whole, right? Just feel your body, feel its essence. And remember, your body's just your body. It's this thing. It's got bones and fat and tissue and all that. But your being really is like your soul, right? So your being kind of hangs out within a body, but it really can expand outside your body. So best way to explain it, if you have ever had that like almost out of body experience, I know my clients, a lot of the times, I call it that halo state, where whether I'm doing sound healing or the crystals, access consciousness, to access energetic facelifts. Sometimes even when I do shamanic healings, people get to this place where they kind of feel like they lift, but not their body. It's like their body's energy. Just think of almost like an aura. And your life's force, I think that's probably the better word for it. Your life force kind of like just lifts. And it hangs out right above your body. That's your being. And it's just enjoying not being in this chaos, or it's allowing your body to rest. Some people may have found this when they go to sleep, like, oh, I feel like I just got back in my body. And it's such a juicy, luxurious, sexy place. And people feel rested and renewed when they come back. And sometimes they come back and it's like, wow, I left my body, or I was in that dreamy state, So what I suggested to her, I said, so you get that feel of your being and just expand out like you're an infinite being, right? You are grander and bigger than your body. So kind of get that size and space of where that is. And just kind of like think of like a bubble that's pushing out and getting bigger, getting bigger, and getting bigger, and getting bigger. And you've created your own little human bubble, like this, your being bubble, right? And just let that stuff bounce off you. Don't let your negativity just bounce off you. Or like I said, the other one is just let it pass through. What was that, Monopoly? Just pass through, do not collect $200, just go. And then the other one was last night. I have a client who I've been doing different body processes on her. One of the things that she had said to me at the beginning was she didn't have a healthy relationship with her body since she was 12. I didn't ask too many questions about it, but she's aware that she did not have a good relationship. Like she hated herself. She didn't like what she looked like. I got a fat butt. I got this, that. I look horrible, blah, 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 blah. She has a loving husband though, and they're great together, but this is her constant judgment of herself. I kind of wonder, is that really her judgment, or was that something that was put upon her because somebody else may have been jealous of her and they were in judgment of their own body? Wonder about that. I'll have to have another conversation with her about that at some point. But when she was trying to get pregnant, and I thought that at some point, like I was feeling energy and reading that, it happened, and then it didn't. And one of the big things when I work on people is I ask their body, what do you need? What do you require? I start asking different questions of, so that I can release and help them move past. So yesterday, and I had read some books and I got a little more educated, I guess you could say, because I felt I wanted to, not that I needed to. I want to be the best healer I could possibly be for people and for myself. And I started asking some questions around it. And what I had asked was, well, what's going on? Is it just that you want to get pregnant? What else is that it? Like, is it just that you didn't? Like, are you afraid? Like, what else is going on? Is that the only thing, your only thing we're learning to work on? And because I didn't ask those questions, I didn't get the right vibe of how to heal her because I didn't ask the right questions. So I started digging into questions and we found out a couple of different things. And I was like, good. Now I'm going to stop asking your body for a while because there's expectation. Expectation can turn into judgment. So I was like, let's just slide off that. And I decided to just play a whole line of clearing statements. And her healing session with the Access Conscious Bars, we released some more stuff. So she's more open to releasing what is trapped in her body. But as I go back a little bit at the beginning, I kind of asked, I said, 98% and 99% of emotions, feelings, pain, what have you, aren't yours. They're somebody else's. You're an empath. You're picking them up. And yes, I like to talk with my hands a lot. Anyway, I know. But yeah, they're not hers. And she's like, well, they just popped up, so I just assume it's mine. I said, well, guess what? I felt like we changed the new chapter last night. I'm like, here are some tools, and I'm going to send her an email a little bit later with different clearing statements from Access Consciousness, maybe do some clearing loops, and feel like I started on a different journey with her so that we could dig deeper, get rid of those judgments that are other people's perception of perhaps her having a child. Is it, like what else is in there? Is it, a mom's perception of this is what you're supposed to do at a certain age? Her perception picked up from somebody else of I have to be in such an age of what we're supposed to do. Like, when do you become your authentic self? And how do you not absorb all of that, right? You just let it pass through you. It's a point of view. You don't have to own it. You can return it to sender, or you can pop and pot it. Like I said, clearing statement through Access Consciousness. Check that out. If I can drop this in the link later, I will definitely drop this in the link. But this is some of the stuff that I wanted to share. We're just constantly bombarded of what we should look like, should be like. But is it true for us? And usually what's coming forward as judgment is because that person is being themselves. They don't like themselves. And they are sending that energy out, like their bodies how do I explain that? It's just radiating. That's the radiating this energy. And you're picking up on it. And you're saying, oh my God, that's mine. And if you're not sure an example of what that looks like, have you ever been to, and all of a sudden you feel like there's this angst, and you're like, oh, the air feels heavy, something feels heavy. And then a certain person who's a negative Nelly walks in the door, and you're like, oh. And then when that person finally leaves, and it's funny because you're picking up on what they're having issues with, what they're unhappy with. And you're just taking it within yourself and you're owning it. And it's whatever they're dealing with. You need to be able to just like, hey, that's yours. I'm sending it back to you. I don't want any part of it. Build your little bubble, expand out however you choose, and let that sucker bounce off them. And when that person leaves, you're like, it feels lighter, right? So, that's just one of the ways. Or you can, if there's somebody who's like a bundle of energy, and that's usually children, right? Children have no reservations. They just wake up and they're curious. Their hands and feet, they're biting their feet. They're grabbing the dog's tail, and they're laughing and they're smiling. And they haven't been able to receive yet all the crap that people like contaminate them with in their brain yet. They're just all, I see the world, I see the trees, let me eat some dirts and rocks, try to ride the dog. And you feel a person with that energy, and you want to be around them because you want to feel that. You want to take into your body. And that's your choice if you want to take that into your body and receive it. That's your choice. Like, we have a lot of different choices. So, like, go back to my hair. My choice tomorrow is I'm going to get the roots done. It's my choice. Or my choice could be I could color it if I wanted to. I could have somebody else do it, or I could have my mother do it. Choosing to have the hairstylist do it. It's my choice whether I want to put makeup or not. I don't have to. Nobody's got a gun to my head. These are my choices. And if I'm unhappy with how my body feels, then I need to look and ask questions around it. Like, body, how do you want to feel today? Body, how would you like to dress today? Body, how outrageous do you want to be today? Body, who do you want to be today? Right? Who do you want to be today? Have you ever and it doesn't mean you have a split personality. It's just like, do you feel like, like think of dress up when you were a kid. Who did you want to be? Right? Someday I want to be a bum. Some days I want to look cute. I have different alter ego names for when we go on vacation. I'm not sharing them with you. A loud shirt. You can wear fun socks. Fun socks, totally my thing. I enjoy that very much. But it's your choice on whether you want to absorb energy that's not yours. And there's certain things too I want to add about judgment that I just popped in my head. And you know what? I do jump around a lot when I'm talking, and I'm perfectly okay with it. If you can follow, good for you. Judge me all you want if you don't like it. Whatever. Losing my train of thought. Where'd that go? Popped into my head. Oh, well, apparently, I confused myself and I got lost. Maybe it'll come back in a second or two. I was in choice. It was about judgment. Clothes. Oh, wait, body. Yes, that's it. So asking again your body, what does it feel like? What kind of body, what kind of exercise today? So like my issue with myself, I noticed through journeying and stuff, is not feeling sexy anymore. It's not really about the number on the scale. I lost my sexiness and I didn't know it. And I don't know where I lost it. And this is a personal thing. And it's like, well, what would you like to do to get your sexiness back? Interesting, huh? And when you start asking a question like that, sometimes it comes as a whisper of information. Sometimes it's like, okay, I got it. Or you see a video or you see something and it just comes to you. You don't have to look for the answer. You just throw the question out there. And I was funny. I had, what do you call it? Those Himalaya. She did DVDs for belly dancing and Bollywood exercise and yoga and stuff like that. She used to be on one of the TV stations. Something said, what, you need to do her stuff. Not Pilates, not yoga, not, whatever else I'm into. I don't feel like that today. I want something that makes me sexy and flowy, get the hands moving and all that. And I felt great afterwards. So that's kind of part of the reason why I decided to do this, this live today was I want my sexy back and I'm figuring out how to get it back. But that's my choice. And those are my questions that I asked for, myself. So one thing I do want to mention before I leave here today is February 20th at 1 p.m. I will be doing a stress relief intro class online. And that's you'll be able to learn some access conscious tools and also some body processes with that. The class is about an hour and a half. And I do have that posted on Facebook event links, on my Facebook page and Instagram bio, LinkedIn, and various other places. If I remember, I will put it down below also in case you want to get in on that. But that also helps with judgment also. There's little tools in there to help you get rid of that morning stress, right? Like I had mentioned, morning stress, judgment, what have you. It's also a little bit of an intro tool to what else you can do. Just little things. So if you're interested, that would be great. I will be turning up the volume hopefully this year. What do I mean hopefully? I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. That's my choice. I demand it. I'm gonna do it. And I may have makeup on. I may not have makeup on. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. Thank you for joining me today on this live. And I'll catch you when I catch you. Mahalo. Enjoy.